Okay, guys, and welcome to the very first episode of On The RiZe, here at the On The RiZe Media studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And for the very first episode, well, it was kind of an obvious choice, really. I had to get British bodybuilding legend John Citrone.
That's funny, that. That's quite funny, that. Yeah, go on.
Well, you're definitely a British bodybuilding legend, if not an international legend, John.
Yeah. Well, okay then. I did compete mine 17 times in Mr. Universe, more than anybody else in the world.
That's... Do you know what? It feels like it's even more than that.
Yeah. Won 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So...
I mean, you were competing for 50 straight years.
Yeah, it would have been. Yes. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah. So, let's just touch a little bit about on when you started, because obviously I work for you. We've traveled the world together.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of good times and and done a lot of cool things together. But let's go back to. I mean, I remember the stories of hearing about you breaking bench press records in a garden shed when you were 11 stone. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my first competition at the Mr. Universe was in 1960. Wow. Then I had the Junior Mr. Britain on with the Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
So I was competing in that. I won the Junior Mr. Britain. And of course, at that time, we used to train in a garden shed at times.
Wow.
Used to chase the chickens out, light the candles, and do our squats and bench press, etc. like that. But that's when I was sharing powerlifting with bodybuilding. From the Junior Mr. Britain, that's when I took into the powerlifting, and by the time I was 19, I'd won the British Powerlifting Championships.
Wow.
Breaking the British record, 2 British records on the way. That was the first 400-pound British record officially. Must have been in England, because I did 401 pounds. That was the new bench press British record.
For your body weight, which was, 154, 155?
Around about 11 and a half stone. At that time, I'm not sure what the exact weights are now for that. I've forgotten, but yeah. And then from then on, it was back to the bodybuilding seriously. After that.
So, what drew you to bodybuilding?
I'm not. I don't know really. I remember walking into a sports centre when I was about 14-year-old, and there was just weights around scattered in one of the corners of the room. And I just took to the weights. I went straight to the weight side and just watched some of the guys lifting weights. And that was it. I don't know why, but the instructor came over and says to us, "Are you interested in lifting some weights, son?" I says, "Well, yeah."
Yeah.
So he says, "Well, come along," he says, "and I'll show you some lifts. I'll show you what to do." Mm-hmm. And we went on from there. He instructed us. He was a weightlifting champion at the time. Mm-hmm. Not a national champion, but a champion anyway.
Where was this? Was this in Chester Street?
This was in Chester Street.
Yeah, I used to live in your old house.
That's right.
Fence houses. Yeah.
You did. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And we just went on from there. He took us in hand. He instructed us. Coached us in weightlifting, and after the weightlifting side, that's when I started bodybuilding, and then from then it just went on. By the time I remember, I was doing bodybuilding and judo.
Oh, you're doing judo? I never knew you did judo.
Yeah, I was doing judo at the time.
Never knew that.
And of course, I was a green belt in judo.
Yeah. And
when we were on the mat, I was about 70. I just got to about 16. And I was grappling somebody on the mat, and of course my judo suit came off. So it came off, then I had to put it back on, got back to fighting again. Mm-hmm. After that, one of the other guys came up and says, "Have you ever entered a bodybuilding show?"
Did he?
I says, "No." He says, "Well, why don't you?" I says, "Well, never thought about it." Why? He says, "Because you'd win."
So you were what, 16? 16?
16,
and you already had...
The physique, that was a bodybuilder's physique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
So he says, I'm telling you, he says, there's a competition in Sunderland next weekend. Go over and have a look. He says, just watch it and see what you think. So I says, all right, okay. So I did do. I went down and it was like a weightlifting competition with a bodybuilding show alongside it. So I watched the competitors, and I thought, yeah, well, yeah, and I was really interested. So anyway, the following season, by the time I got to I was 17, and the Junior Mr. North Britain was coming up. Nabba.
Yeah.
Oscar Hyde's son was there. So I thought, I'll enter that.
Yeah.
So that was my first contest. I entered, and I came out an easy winner. And Oscar Hyde says, he says you could very well win the final in London coming up.
Okay.
He says you're that good. And it was great. I mean, I was over the moon, winning my first contest. Couldn't believe it. I'm a mister.
I'm a mister
I'm
something.
a Mr. North Britain, a junior Mr. North Britain.
Yeah.
And anyway, the finals came in the September. That was around about May time.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'm training for the finals in September down in London. Was on with the Mr. Universe contest.
Same weekend?
Same day.
Oh, wow.
Same contest.
Okay.
So they had the juniors along with the Mr. Universe to help the juniors.
Yeah.
It was spectacular. I remember walking into the judging, and just looked at the physiques because I'd never seen the show before.
Okay.
But this time, only the North Britain, the one I'd competed in.
Yeah.
Which was just a little club show.
Yeah.
And then getting down there in the theatre, in the judging, and seeing all these bodybuilders, I just was taken back by it. Anyway, I entered the show, and I was second in the final. I was second that year.
Do you remember who was first?
Yes, Paul Nash.
Paul Nash.
Paul Nash.
Okay.
So
That's
Paul
a name
Nash,
I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. So he was and then he went on to win the Britain after that. So the following year I went down. And of course, I won the show. I won the Britain, Junior Britain. Then.
Of course.
I won that.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
that made us into sort of a national champion.
Yeah.
I'm a national champion. I'm 17-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what followed that's when I went into the powerlifting side, concentrated a year on the powerlifting side, and I won the powerlifting championships. From then on, I'm still at 19. I was competing in my first Mr. contest.
Okay.
Up in near Newcastle. And of course, I'm heading for the shows. My first competition as a Mr. And of course, what's his name was one of the top guys was in the competition.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I've got no chance against him. But anyway, we're competing.
Sorry, how old were you here?
I was about 18.
18, and you're in the
18.
Misters in the big shows.
That's right, the first year.
Okay.
I might have been going on to 19.
Yeah.
But I'd come from the junior Mr. Britain. So my first show, because then the juniors was up to 18.
Okay.
Not 21 like it is
It's
today.
23 nowadays.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they've changed it. Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
So at 19, I'm competing there for the Mr. North Britain. And it was, I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, I competed and I won.
Wow.
And I'm going, I've won the show. So from then on, I'm going down to the Mr. Britain. And my first go in the Mr. Britain, I was second in the big final.
At 18?
Yeah, 19 or something.
19.
Like
19. Jeez, you're a kid.
Yeah. And the following year, from then on, I never lost any competitions up in the north. Well, the ones I ended, they were local contests, so I won them. And then I went down to the Mr. Britain. That must be 1965 by now. I'd be about 20. I was second in the Mr. Britain. And then I competed in the Mr. Universe, and I was fourth.
Wow.
I was fourth in my class in the Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
And then the following year, I won the Mr. Britain. and I won the Mr. Universe. And I won the Mr. Europe.
Wow. Where was that?
Paris.
Oh, Paris. Okay.
Yeah. And that was it. When Arnold came over, 1965, Arnold came over. I won my class then. Arnold was second to
Chet Yorton?
Chet Yorton.
Yeah.
He was second to Chet Yorton. And me, Chet Yorton, and the other one went to do guest spots in Ireland.
Okay. So what year was this? 65?
65.
Right. Okay. So, because, I mean, there was a few years where you and Arnold were coming up against each other.
That's right. 1966, we competed again. Arnold won, I won.
Sorry, to clarify, that was the tall and the short class?
Yes.
In the amateur?
Yes.
So Arnold won the tall, you won the short?
Short class, yeah. And then again, the following year, I won the short class and Arnold won the tall class. Then 1968 came around, I went down there. I was going down to compete in the amateur again. Mm-hmm. And Oscar says, look, he says, you're going to have to compete as a professional.
Did he?
I said, well, why? He said, because you've just opened the gym. I said, well, okay, so I've opened the gym. It hadn't even got underway. That's my first. I was working on this gym.
Yeah.
So I opened the gym in Chester Street.
So your first gym was in Chester Street?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
On the front street in Chester Street.
Is that where I used to live? No,
yes.
Is that where Brian Robinson's gym was, around there? Around that area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just 3 miles from Brian's gym.
Okay.
On the front street in Chester Street. So I opened the gym there.
What was it called?
John Citrone Health Studios.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. And so Oscar says, so you have to enter the professional says, oh, well, okay. And of course, Arnold was in the pro that year. Mm. And Freddie Ortiz.
Freddie Ortiz was the first man to have 20-inch arms.
Yeah. Oh, he was. I remember we're in the dressing room. So Oscar says, so you've got to enter the pro then. Yeah. Says, well, okay then. So I was in the pro. And then we were pumping up there. And Freddie Ortiz, I heard Freddie Ortiz discussing the competition with his trainer. And his trainer was saying to Freddie, I think you'll have no problem here. He says, yeah, that Arnold, he's a big lad, but I think you'll be okay there, Freddie. You know, I sort of heard them discussing that. Anyway, you know, I had no chance against Freddie Ortiz. He was a big name then, you see.
Was he from America, New York, wasn't it?
Yeah.
New York.
American, yeah. And of course, the contest came around, and I won. I beat him.
Oh, you beat him?
I beat him. I remember in the dressing room when we were doing our pumping up. We were in the one dressing room, and Freddie had taken another dressing room on his own, next door. So couldn't see him in the pump up room.
Do you think he was trying to psych you out a little bit, or?
Well, no, I don't think I wasn't. To Freddie, I wasn't a big name then, you know. But I had won 2 Mr. Universes. Yeah. Then. Anyway, I remember we walked out of our dressing room. Freddie walked out of his dressing room. I'm smack in front of him. I looked at him, and he had the most enormous arms I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. They just looked spectacular at that time. Freddie was my height and possibly shorter, yeah. And he had these, easy 20-inch arms then.
Yeah. Because it was him and Leroy Colbert where they said that and then Larry Scott. Yeah. They were kind of, that was like.
Hovering around there.
Yeah, that 20-inch mark.
That's right. But because Freddie was so short, his was bigger within comparison.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, we competed and I won. And that was, of course, Arnold wasn't at his best that year. He was pretty smooth. He was very smooth. But we never got, of the 5 times I competed with Arnold, we never got to compare each other. They didn't compare the classes then.
Seriously?
Never compared. So I was never compared with Arnold in any of the shows. And that one, on that day, if we compared, I would probably have pipped him. Yeah. Because he was very smooth that day.
Was he?
Anyway, Arnold won. And so it was, great show. And I came back just over the moon, delighted. I mean, I'd beat Freddie Ortiz.
What year? Sorry. That would be
1968.
This is 68.
Yeah, with Freddie Ortiz of 68.
Okay. Who are these gentlemen? Is that Wilf Sylvester?
No.
That one?
This one looks like Sylvester.
That's Wilf Sylvester.
On the right here.
You?
That will be me. Yeah, that will be Calendar.
Roy Calendar? That's Roy Calendar.
No, the left there. Looks like far over. This is
that one. That's Bertel, isn't it? No, it's Bertel.
No, that looks like could be.
Who's this one here? I'm circling, John.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know his name.
So what year was this?
68.
68.
Is it 68 or 67?
So how much?
Or 69. Even 69, we competed again.
Yeah.
Arnold won, and I was won my short class. That's 2 times in the professional.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to bring up a visual just to show, because there's that the one picture. In fact, I used to have one of the originals because it was in your house.
Yes.
That one from '67 where you're both stood
together.
on the,
that
because I have one of the originals. It was amazing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
And so that was that. After that, I had put this strength act together, and I was doing the nightclubs and the working man clubs with strength act, which became very popular. So I was concentrating on that. So I'd left the competitions alone then.
Okay.
So I ended up by winning the Britain, the Europe, and 4 times Mr. Universe.
Okay.
And then started to concentrate on me strength act.
Yeah.
And I was touring the clubs there for a few years after that.
So you had your gym.
Yeah.
Was it just the one at the time? Because you ended up with a few more, didn't you?
That's right. The first year I had the gym, so I'd opened that in 1966. 67, I opened another one in Newcastle. 68, another one in Durham. The year after, another one in Darlington. So I ended up with 4 gyms.
Okay.
At the time. And then I was doing my strength act and still had the ice cream business.
Oh, do you know what? I've completely... It's something I've not thought about for many years, the ice cream business. Citrone
I inherited the ice cream business from my parents.
Okay.
And it was the ice cream shop we had in Chesterley Street on the main street, still there to this day.
Is it?
Opened at the beginning of the century by my grandparents. So it's been there 120 years now. It's the oldest business in Chesterley Street and still running. Is it? I inherited the factory that supplied the ice cream to the shop.
Yeah.
With the ice cream van. So my brother inherited the shop.
Was it Eddie?
No, Nickel.
Nickel, okay.
And I inherited the ice cream, the factory that made the ice cream with a couple of ice cream vans. So were you born in Italy? No, I was born in England. You were born in England because your family's you're Italian, half Italian, Citrone. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. My grandparents came over from Italy to England at the beginning of the century. Okay. So they opened the ice cream business so they went through the 2 world wars. Yeah. So I was born in the Second World War. My father had married an Italian girl from Italy. And then they inherited the business from my grandparents. Okay. So it was my parents that brought us up. When I was about 8 years old, my father died, and my mother, who hardly spoke any English, had to carry on the business with her 4 sons. So she had 4 young sons, and she had to carry on the business, running. All by herself? All by herself. Well, she had the help of her relatives. Yeah. She had to, because she couldn't speak very good English at all. I remember when I first moved up to Newcastle in 2000, and you took me to the family home for Sunday dinner. It was like all Italian food. Do you remember? Yes, all right. And I remember because your mum didn't really... everyone was speaking Italian, and I was just like... That's right. Yeah. She couldn't believe how much I ate. Yeah, of course. Spaghetti and meatballs to start. So you bet me, mother. Of course. Spaghetti and meatballs, Lauren, to start. Yeah. And I was like, bring it on. I was very into my carbs back then. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that because it was funny. All the family, all the Ferraris and everything were turning up outside, and just the whole family would just kind of come and go all day. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah. Wow. But I remember because she didn't speak English; she was speaking Italian to me, and I'm like, that's right. That's how it was. So all through her life, I mean, even she came to England when she was to marry my dad. Must have been 18 or 19. by the time she was 90, 80, she still couldn't speak English, hardly.
Yeah.
Still very
How did she
poor.
manage?
She managed.
It's crazy. Because
Yeah.
I remember, because you speak fluent Italian, but your mum used to speak Italian to you as a child, but you would speak English back?
We all did.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even my Italian now is very poor. Very poor.
Oh, I don't know, John.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Very poor.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how it was.
Okay.
And I was running the ice cream business, training for competitions, running the gyms. And it was hectic.
Yeah.
And I just carried on. So we had this spread of quite a few years doing the nightclubs with our cabaret act.
Now, going to that cabaret, it sparked a memory, because when I was living in your house and you were honoured for the Oscar Heidenstein dinner,
Yes,
I remember you gave me a call and he said, Giles, go down to, because basically I was living in this 6-bedroom house with indoor swimming pool.
Yes.
And you said, Giles, down the end of the indoor swimming pool, he said, there's a big room he says, there's a lot of my old pictures and trophies there's an anchor.
Yes.
Go and find the anchor and put it in your car and bring it over.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it's an anchor. It's supposed to be a small thing.
Yeah.
Because it was part of your, we'll come on to that. And I remember, because you used to pick this up with one hand, press it and drink water out of a lead cup.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, well, if someone can do it with one hand, it's not going to be hard. Because I was quite big at the time. I was strong. I was training hard. And I remember just seeing it, and it was just this dead weight. I remember dragging it. And I had a Citroen Xantia that you got me.
All right.
And I remember opening the boot, and I remember the car just going dunk. And it was literally it was dragging the suspension. But I remember that anchor. So that was, is there any pictures on your Instagram, do you think?
There will be, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, keep talking, John, and I'll just find it if I just carry on talking. Yeah. Okay, sorry, we had a bit of a lighting issue there. So, John, you were just telling me something?
Yeah, it was Malcolm Stringer was the first.
Malcolm Stringer.
Yeah, he was a universe competitor, Britain competitor, and a well-known powerlifting champion.
Okay.
At the time.
Yeah.
And of course, so the first Mr. contest I went to enter, Malcolm Stringer was in it, and of course he was going to be the obvious winner.
Yeah.
Of course, then I beat him.
You beat him.
And I beat him in the contest, and it was it sort of caught the public's eye that says, because I was known then to be good at powerlifting, and Malcolm was good at powerlifting, and it says, why don't you have a powerlifting contest between you? And I says, yeah, okay. So the next bodybuilding show that came along, they had me and Malcolm was going head to head in a powerlifting competition. All properly done in front of judges.
So was this, because nowadays it's squat, bench, deadlift, was that how it was?
Then it was squat, bench press and curl.
Okay.
The curl
no deadlift?
No deadlift.
Okay.
It was a standing curl in those days. And of course, we competed. I'm just this young boy.
Yeah.
And Malcolm is the big professional there, yeah. And again, I beat him. I beat him in the powerlifting contest.
You beat him in the powerlifting as well?
So then he says, oh, we'll have to have a rematch.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to have a rematch at the next bodybuilding show that was coming along. Mm-hmm. So again, me and Malcolm went head to head in this powerlifting competition. And I beat him again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I beat him again. And after that, Malcolm, he retired.
He retired?
Yeah, he never competed again.
Okay.
That was his last contest. Yeah. So
what year was that? Do you remember? How old?
That would have been before the 65.
65.
Around about 1965. Yeah, because I wasn't Mr. Britain by then. 65 or 64.
So
could have been 64.
Back in those days, I mean, bodybuilding and weightlifting, powerlifting were kind of very much tied together.
Yes.
They were, they were pretty much, it was hard to separate them really, because the bodybuilding for pure physique contest really hadn't taken...
Yeah, and people, well, we did guest spots then. We had to do a strength to show how strong we were.
As a guest posing?
Every guest sport, of course, was expected to do his best lifts.
Okay.
Now, I used to always do the bench press.
Yeah.
Franco Colombo would do the deadlift. Arnold would do the curl. And each one had their own personal best lifts that they used to do. And everybody was expected to do a strength thing on with a guest spot.
Can you imagine if they did that today?
Oh, I know that. No, what? Exactly.
What would they do? I wonder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
So
tell us about this picture, John.
Oh, yeah, blowing up a hot water bottle. That was part of my strength act. I used to blow the hot water bottle up, and I was good at it. Do it every day, twice a day, for years. I did do
Really?
the same, yeah.
So I think is, I suppose if you were doing it so often, you didn't really have to train or practice for it. Or was that just, thing is, that's lung strength, isn't it?
That's right. It's something you can either do it or you can't.
Yeah.
I didn't train to do that. When I tried it the first time, I could do it.
But how did that come around doing it the first time? What was the impetus?
We'd heard about
Franco.
The Americans blowing hot water. Bill Pearl.
Okay.
He used to blow a hot water bottle up.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Let's have a try. So we got a hold of a hot water bottle. Yeah. Let's have a go. Go. But our hot water bottles wasn't like theirs. Theirs is like a plastic. Ours was summer seal, rubber. Okay. So they used to go up this big.
Yeah.
Huge things before the burst.
Were you ever nervous about it bursting in your face the first time?
No. Then we put a bit of wrapping around the eyes. Okay. Yeah.
So you'd literally in this photo, you'd just taken off the...
That's the wrap. It's burst and I've taken the wrap off.
Did you ever not succeed at doing it on stage and I can't do it today, guys?
No. I'd always managed there.
Yeah.
They always burst.
Because I always wondered, with like the anchor, because it was just to take us through what you used to do with the anchor and the lead cup.
Right. Well, with the Advil anchor, the Advil anchor was something I can't understand why I could do it, but nobody else could. That never got lifted. It was presented. I used to present that. Anybody from the audience come up and have a go.
Yeah.
And nobody ever to this day has lifted that Advil anchor together.
I'll attest to
that. And I'm talking about the strongest people that would come up.
Yeah.
Jeff Capes came up once.
Did he?
Before he was famous.
He's the world's strongest man.
Yeah.
Jeff Capes, very famous in the 90s, 80s.
Yeah,
80s.
He came up, and I didn't know who he was. And he came up to us years later.
Yeah.
When I was at the... when I was being honoured at the Oscars, Jeff Capes was there. And Jeff came up to us. He says, you won't remember this, but I came on your stage when you were doing your strength act to have a go at lifting your Advil anchor.
Yeah.
I says, oh, did you? Well, I knew nobody had ever done them both. I said, did you manage it? He says, no. He says, I lifted the one, couldn't get them both up. He says, now, I was so impressed with your act, I wanted to become a strongman.
Hang on. Why have I never heard this story before?
Probably I've never told it.
Seriously?
He came up to us. He says, do you know, you're the reason I became a strongman.
Holy shit. Wow. That's incredible. Jeff Capes, one of the...
he's 2 times world's strongest man, Jeff.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Aye. One of Britain's best athletes.
Yes, he was incredible. I mean, he was, world's strongest man,
Yeah. And he came up, he says, you know, you're the reason I wanted to become a strongman. I was so impressed with your act that I wanted to become a strongman.
But like I said, I remember dragging the anchor with both hands, and just thinking you were. So tell us what you would actually do with that anchor and that anvil.
No, it was the anvil and anchor. The idea was to come up and lift them, get them 2 props above your head any way you can.
Yeah.
Lift the 2 props up. And nobody ever did. And what I used to do it, and I tell them, how I do it, I'll lift the anvil up first. Once it's up there, I'll squat down and pick up the anchor and then bring that up as well. So I ended up with both above my head. So that's the way I do it. You can choose any way you want.
Did anyone get even close?
No. Some people got the anvil up, but they couldn't get them both up.
So this was like, you were doing this twice a day at acts and all around the country?
That's right, yeah. I even took it to Belgium. When Frank Zane won the World Championships in Belgium, I'm saying Mr. World, it would have been, he's Mr. World. I was doing the guest act. I was doing the guest spot with my act. And I did it there. And even at Mr. Universe, 72, I think, Mr. Universe, I did it that. Because you never got guest spots on the Mr. Universe. Yeah. But I was.
Did
with
you?
The act. I was guest spot.
Hang on, right? So you're doing this act around. So you're literally taking it in your car?
Yes.
Who's bringing it from the car to the stage?
Me.
Yeah.
was have to carry them props.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're carrying them upstairs.
Oh my God.
And I used to have to get them props into the place.
That's what I'm thinking,
And then I would do a guest spot at 7 o'clock at night at a working man's club.
Yeah.
And a nightclub, 11 o'clock at night in some nightclub. So I'd have to do it then, and then straight after a nightclub, carrying the props up and carrying up the stairs into the nightclub and doing the act then. Sometimes it was twice a day.
And the travelling back and all that
Travelling
with
around.
it. God, I hope you had a sturdy car.
You know, I used to carry them around in this Aston Martin.
Did bloody sports car?
Yeah, it was an Aston Martin DB4, I remember at the time.
Beautiful.
And I was carrying these around in the Aston Martins.
But it was the bloody bumper. The bumper was scraping along the motorway.
Yeah. And I went to Belgium in the Aston Martin. To do the guest spot.
Yeah.
And of course, Joe Weed asked us. He says, "Will you do bring your act to America?" He says, "We'd love to have you over there." And said, "Well, I'd love to come, but no way. You couldn't get the props over."
Yeah. So you're making, imagine that in luggage.
Yeah.
Trying to put that in your.
Get them, yeah.
Yeah, because God, it was just like I said. I've got a sort of a grasp of how heavy that thing was. I thought there was a lead. Was there a lead cup?
There was a lead cup as well. It was a pot.
Yeah.
We could fill it up with water.
Yeah.
And the idea was to take a drink out of it. And nobody could lift that pot off the table. It weighed about 50 pounds.
It's incredible. It's like it's awkward, isn't it? It's awkward to pick up.
It's a pity I lost the pot throughout the years.
Yeah.
I've still got the handle anchor. And they're in one of the gyms in Newcastle there.
Is there?
And anybody can go and try, and nobody has ever lifted them.
No, I mean, I couldn't. I mean, at the time, I was probably like 230 pounds strong. I was dumbbell press 100 pounders easy, but even the thought of pressing that overhead with two arms is kind of I struggle.
Yeah.
Let alone have something else as well.
Yeah. I mean, the total weight was only about 200. The advert was 112. Was only a kilo, 100 kilo, a 50 kilo advert, and then the anchor as well.
Yeah.
And that was it. It's the awkward of the props, which made it not the weight.
So the strength act took you away from bodybuilding, competing, because you basically just won everything, and then so what? So you I know you competed in 1980.
That's right.
And then you won the British Championships.
That's right.
Tell us.
Yeah. When I started, I was trained at Bill Boyd's gym.
Oh yeah, Bill Boyd, Tom Platz's old friend.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then Bill says to us one day, "Why don't you enter the?" I'd never competed for quite a few years now, through the 1980s. Got doing my strength act, and he says the British Championships is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Why don't you compete in it? I says, "Nah." He says, "I'm telling you." He says, "I think you should compete in it," because I'd always been a NABBA man.
Yeah.
This was the IFBB now.
Of course, yeah.
And I says, "Nah." He says, "I'm telling you, why don't you compete?" I says, "Well, I'm not qualified." He says, "Well, if I get you the invite, will you compete?" And I says, "Well, yeah." He says, right, okay. He says, "I'm going to phone Feinstein."
Julian Feinstein.
Julian Feinstein.
Yeah.
So I was there. I'm sitting there. He's on the phone to Feinstein. He says, "Look, Julie," he says, "I've got John Citrone here." He says, and, he wants to compete in the next contest there. There's no qualifier now, it's too late. Can we get him a buy-in? And Feinstein, I remember him saying, "Well, what's he like?" And Bill says, "What's he like?" He says, "I'll tell you what, if he competes there, that roof will go up when he walks on stage."
Yeah.
And Feinstein says, "Are you really?" And Bill says, "I'm telling you, let him compete and I'll bring him down." And Julian says, "Okay, bring him down."
Okay.
And of course the time came, we went down, and there was some top guys in it. Yeah, I remember. And of course I competed and I won.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of the blue, how can a NABBA man win? At the time.
There was obviously there was a rivalry for many years between not a rivalry, but it was
there was always that with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won the contest, and it was one of my best wins I remember at the time, And that was that. And then I competed in a few IFBB shows then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, did me rounds, and that was that.
I remember you telling me that you struggled. I think it was after that time that you took a few years off because you followed like a high carb trend diet, and you said you struggled to get the conditioning.
I mean, along this time, I mean, the Nautilus was coming back in now, and
Arthur Jones
came along with Sergio Lever to the universe.
Yeah,
and of course, we're sitting there, and I had a conversation with Arthur Jones at the time.
Yeah,
and we sat there in the reception. We were sitting there for a few hours at night, and we were just talking to Arthur. And Arthur then told us was saying, how can we get arms like a Lever? Why can't we get arms like a Lever?
yeah.
And he came along and said, you just can't. And he told us about the genetics then. It's all down to in the genes. If you haven't got the genetics, you can't do it.
Yeah.
We'd never thought about genetics at that time.
Yeah?
Yeah. He brought the thing in. It's all in the genes. If you ain't got it, you can't get it.
Yeah.
And this is why. And told us about his system, about his equipment and that. And, well, yeah, we're convinced of his methods. And he was saying, you only need one set to failure and all this, that and the other. And you can only get as good as what you can get. You can't get like Sergio Lever. And you can't get like one of the great champions if you ain't got the genes to do it. You can only get as good as you can get. And that was it. And my friend, he ordered the whole gym full of Nautilus equipment to bring to Newcastle. We were so convinced at the time. And of course, above I had a cafe in Newcastle, and there was this rooms above it. And of course, Mel Robson, he opened the gym above my restaurant in Newcastle. Yeah. I'm saying restaurant, it was a cafe. Yeah. Type restaurant. And ordered all the Nautilus equipment, ordered them in, they came in, he went over to Nautilus in Florida, and ordered all the equipment. And we had this whole, must have been the first gym of Nautilus equipment in Britain, came over. And we trained in years from it on there.
What do you think?
Just got nowhere.
Didn't you?
On one set system. It was a one set system.
Yeah.
Worked on it for years. Follow it to the message.
Yeah.
Well, just dying there after workout, because the idea was to go through the workout non-stop, just, without catching your breath hardly. Yeah. Just a few. On the next exercise. Total failure, negatives, right through the range. On the next one. We used to be dead after about
did you?
half an hour workout.
But did you actually enjoy training like that?
No, it was.
Don't think so.
No, and must have spent about 4 or 5 years at that type of training. Maybe 5 or 6 years, and then it was only when Metrex came around. Yeah, we discovered the Metrex thing.
Was it 91, 92?
Yes, yeah, I ended up in America over some charges. I was arrested in America and I spent some jail time in America. Yeah. And while I was there, reading magazines, discovered Metrex.
Did you?
And of course, I made a phone call.
We got plenty of time to read, so.
Yes, I read up on Metrex. Yeah. Was trained in the jail.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trained in the jail, and I phoned up Carlo, my son in England. I says, "Listen, let's get this Metrex in. Get on the phone to Metrex and order some in. Yeah, because I was going to be due out, within months."
So at the time you had all the gyms and health centres, weren't you?
Yeah.
That's right. So, so Carlo was...
We're doing Pedanta equipment then.
That's right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we got quite a large business doing Pedanta equipment. Yeah. Very successful. And,
we'll come on to that in a bit because I want to touch on that because,
and
that's a significant part of your life.
So anyway, got it in, and I ordered some. When I got out of jail, I was in remand, so I could get a flat there.
Yeah.
And I was able to train. Ordered Metrex for myself. I was training with Metrex and gone back to more normal type training. And was better, starting again.
So this was 92?
Yeah.
Okay.
92.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And so that was that. And by the time, when I got out, they decided to run, well, no, just before I'd gone in, they decided to do a Mr. Universe for over 40s.
The Masters.
The Masters.
So this
Mr.
was the
Universe.
birth of the Masters Universe.
Right.
Okay.
And I decided, whoa, maybe I'll enter that.
Yeah.
Because Oscar used to say, why don't you enter the over 40s in the Mr. Britain? And of course, I never did want to. It wasn't. I thought, no, So by the time I was 48, they decided to run a Mr. Universe. So I thought, wow, maybe I'll enter that. That's something to enter then.
Yeah, something to train for. Something to train for. Yeah, okay.
So I did, and I had to start from scratch again. Entered the Mr. North Britain Masters, the Mr. Britain, I won that. Then the Mr. Britain, I won that, which would qualify us then for the Mr. Universe.
Do you know, I think it's good that they made you start from scratch again.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like, because I remember seeing on you had a poster with all your wins on there.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, like, it was about 92, North Britain. I was like,
Yes,
why is he?
aye.
They made
That's
you do
right.
the North Britain, the regional. They made you do the Britain.
And then that.
They didn't just go, okay, let him just go into the universe.
That's right, no. So I start from scratch. And then, so I ended, and then when the Mr. Universe came, I ended, and of course I got second to the Australian.
It's not the German. No, the German was...
No, the Australian headed that way.
Oh, Graham Lansfield.
Yeah,
Graham. Graham, yeah.
Yeah. So Graham won that year. I was second. And then that's when I got arrested in America.
Yeah.
So I missed the following year.
You were absent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go on.
And then when I was getting back to more normal training then, I was starting to improve again.
Yeah.
By the time I got back and entered again, Graham was in, and the guys, I won then.
Yeah.
The universe, the Mr. Universe. And I was doing my best, I was getting my best years then in my 50s.
Yeah.
By the time I was competed then, I competed for the following 10 years as a master and won 10 world titles.
I was there for most of them.
That's right, you were there, yeah.
Well, I remember when you made your comeback, and in 96 you got third.
Yeah.
And then 97 you won it.
Right.
98 you won it again.
Right.
And I'll still maintain to this day that if they'd have put you in the overall with Gary Lister, Steve Crichton, Simon Cohen, and Stumpy Rains, I think you'd have won the overall.
Well, yeah, because
you would at 98. I still maintain. In fact, I'm going to find a picture of 98 just so I can show the viewers, just to show.
Yeah.
So, how old were you in 1998, John? Well, that was about 97.
Yeah.
Is that 97?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. But that was 98. You just the size and conditioning you had, John, was just that was insane.
I'd be in my mid-50s by that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, I was there. I photographed. I mean, those probably the photographs you're using, the ones I took.
Yeah.
Where is it?
And of course Sullivan, he had said, Michael Sullivan. Yeah. He had put it to the committee. Why don't you run the overall? Why don't you put the Masters in the overall?
Should have.
And they turned it down because they said, well, if we do that, he might just win. And of course, it might not look good.
Yeah.
A Masters winning the overall. So they turned it down.
God, that's why. You're too good. Thing is, I think, mate, 98, I think, because I remember Grant Thomas won the overall.
Yes.
I think you'd have beat him. Your conditioning was just your muscle maturity, your density. And I remember you were Rafiq's Gold Star gym.
Yes.
And I came up to, because I had a girlfriend at the time, so I was coming up.
Yeah.
And I remember you taking me on one of your deliveries. And I remember you just, you did a bit of training in the gym and you stripped off. And then Rafiq says, let's have a look at you, John.
Right.
Let's have a look at you.
Yeah.
And you took your time and you pumped up a little bit. And I just remember just your shoulders, your chest. I honestly, that's one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. That was in 1998. 98 that was. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Good times, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but that 98, that was something special, John. That was something special. And let's touch a little bit upon the Masters, because you were just, I remember you stopped competing in 2000, 2001, and I remember we were training together.
Yes.
2001.
Yeah, right.
And I was nagging you. I said, come on, John, compete again. NABBA World's coming up, John. Why don't you do it? And I remember you came into the office and you went, yeah, I'm going to do the NABBA Worlds, Thessaloniki.
Right, all right.
This is it. I took this photo.
Yeah.
So you're like 60 years old there?
Yes, I just got 60 on that day,
Yeah, as that picture, some other photographer getting in the action there. This was in Thessaloniki.
Yes.
Where's the other pictures? Hang on, we'll find them. And 2002. And that, in fact, there's something else significant about that event, because you were, 60?
Yes.
And you didn't even go in the over 50s. You went in the over 40s because you said, I want to go.
Over 40s.
I said, do the over 50s, John. You're 60. And you went.
Yeah. No, still don't do over 40s.
You went, no, I want to go up some real competition.
Yeah.
And you won it. And in fact, I think Thessaloniki was, again.
Yes.
It was your conditioning, John. I mean.
Yeah.
In fact,
with Rafiq, with what's his name? Won the over.
Kamal. Yeah, Kamal. I'll try and find the picture because I think you posted them.
Kamal, we'll be in there.
Yeah. That's a cool picture, isn't it? You and.
Yeah, Arnold.
You and Arnold. He looks very smart. Very smart. Your arm's not probably far off 20 inches there, John.
Yeah.
Where is it? Here we are.
Yeah.
There we go. That was.
Yeah.
That was. In fact, you look freakier than Kamal.
Aye.
60 years old.
Yeah.
So this was at this to the left here. To the left here was like the backstage door, and I said, "Come on!" I grabbed Kamal, and I grabbed you, and I said, "Come on, John, let's get some pictures." It was so hot. It was like 100 degrees. And I said, "Come out." And we got these pictures, and that was 2002, Thessaloniki, Greece.
That's right.
That was great. That was a great trip. And Kamal, like relative unknown, ended up winning the over. I remember backstage, no one was paying attention to him, and then when he came on stage, he just blew everyone away.
Yes,
So yeah. Hang on, let me just go. Sorry, I'm going off a bit of tangents here, I know, but tell me about because you were known for your conditioning, and I remember you said you accidentally got shredded glutes because you got sick the night before the show, got food poisoning, and you went on stage with shredded glutes. Do you remember that?
No.
I remember you said you got sick before a show, and you went on, and that it was the first time shredded glutes had ever been on display. I remember you telling me that. Okay. Tell us about this night, John. This was I remember seeing the video on that.
Yeah. That's when Arnold was coming to Leeds. It was a night was Arnold's.
Just come a bit close to the mic, sorry, John. Yeah. Or just bring it closer to yourself.
That's right. It was billed as a night with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So the tickets were £1,500 down to £500.
Okay.
For the ticket there to see Arnold.
So, but basically, they're more expensive. What was the difference? Why was the difference in price?
Position.
Closer. Okay.
Closer.
Yeah.
Up front. And so we says, let's go see him. Let's go down and see him. So we had the £500 tickets.
Okay.
Poor man's tickets.
Come on, John. It's your old friend Arnold. Well, it looks like you got pretty close to him.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So we got down there, and of course, we were having dinner and that, and I was just sitting. Arnold had came on. Arnold was due to come on. I was thinking, I wish I could, get up close to him, but it was too secure. A lot of security there.
Yeah.
You couldn't get around the stage. The big bouncers was there, And anyway, Arnold came on and did his show. did his talk. He was just a talk to the audience.
It's Jonathan Ross, wasn't it, hosting
Jonathan
it?
Ross, he was the host.
Was it good?
Very good. Yeah, terrific. Yeah. And so after the show went on, thunderous applause. Arnold was walking off the stage, and I just says, there's just a way I could get to talk to him. And of course, the friend of mine sitting there, Kim pulls out a little photo. I says, just write something on the back. So I just says, good show, Arnold, and just signed to John Citrone.
Wow.
And the girl runs down to the stage and says to Jonathan, give this to Arnold. And he says, well, where is it? She just says, no, just a note. Just give it to Arnold.
Yeah.
See if he gets it. And she comes back, and I'm thinking, oh, God, no. Oh, gee. Will he even respond? So it took about 5 minutes after that. Well, John Citrone come to the audience, come to the front of the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, he's got the message. So anyway, the security man's coming up and said, John, come down, Arnold wants to see you. Come down to the stage. So we'll just go down to the stage there. And of course, there's a big queue to see the people that had spent the £1,500 tickets got to shake hands with him.
And you get a picture.
And have a photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, they're pushing it down to the front. And says, come on, Arnold wants to see you. And I had my friends. I said, well, I've got my friends. No, they can't. Just you. I said, I can't come down without my wife. At least. And they said, okay, then come on.
Yeah.
And then the other guy says, but I'm his son. So they said, well, come on then. So they hustled the four of us down there.
Yeah.
And of course, to the front. And of course, when we went in, Arnold's there, and it was just straight over such a greeting.
I've actually seen the video that Kim put on her phone.
All right, yes.
And Arnold was
right.
so excited to see it. He's like, I remember you, John. You mentioned the blowing the hot water bottles and how strong you were.
Arnold's telling his people how good I was.
Yeah.
And we gone down to see Arnold. And so we had we had about 20 minutes talking.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
the other people had to be kept back. And of course, just after that, Arnold went. And of course, to the audience, to the people that spent all that money, didn't get to talk with him.
Oh, no.
So we had these photographs taken.
Yeah.
And that was that. And
what did you talk about? What did you talk about?
What did Arnold talk about?
Yeah, what were you two talking? Because I remember seeing the video of you laughing and you were just so happy, and Arnold was happy.
Yeah, well, Arnold was telling these people, he said, you wanted to see this guy. What he used to do, he was so strong. He used to blow hot water bottles up.
Yeah.
He used to lift these and bend these bars. And he was telling me just what I used to do.
Yeah.
And he said, and he had the most amazing physique. And yeah, so it was general. He was telling his people how good I was.
Yeah.
And it was just terrific. When we got back to our seats, the manager of the whole show, he came up to us and says, thanks for coming up. He says, but the people were really annoyed that we didn't get to get the pictures taken with them.
Oh.
He says, but anyway, it's such a good night. As Arnold says, he says, let's hope it's another 40 years before we get to meet up again.
What year was this? It was about 5 years ago? 6?
About that. Yeah. It's around about that.
He looks well, doesn't he? He looks well, though.
Yeah.
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 Do you obviously you followed his career and what he's done and what he's achieved.
This is the thing. When you get to know someone, you know somebody, and you're just watching this person go from being just Mr. Universe, unknown, going to America and becoming this superstar on the way, and you just follow him up.
Yeah.
You just go and think, I knew him. And as he goes through and he becomes one of the most famous men in the world.
Yeah. I've actually, I'm sure, I don't know whether you put the picture on. There's a picture and you've got like some rolled up paper and you're leaning over talking to him. And that's another picture. And I think, I can forget who else is in the picture. I don't know where, I'm not sure. I've not seen it on your Instagram.
No.
I think that was another picture I had that I remember. I remember because I said, Kim, I've got these pictures. I said,
yes.
I think you'll want these. And So okay then. Well, I think we'll take a little break.
Yeah.
And we'll come right back very, very soon, and we'll hear more of John's amazing stories of his incredible career. Be right back. Okay, guys, we are back. We've had a coffee, and John's even tried some green tea with mint in my Batman mug. So John, I was just scrolling through, and we found this. What we were talking about earlier. That's the anvil.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the anvil.
Well, I'm glad you never asked me to take that to the Oscar Heidenstam dinner as well, because I don't think I could have managed it. I don't think my car would have managed it.
Yes. No, that was it. Your Oscar Heidenstam dinner.
No, it was was it?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, so where was, because that anchor, sorry, it's just at a camera shot there.
Yeah.
That anchor, I can see it on this laptop. The anchor was in, like I said, in the house that I was living in when I first moved to Newcastle in 2000 and 2001.
Yeah, right.
So where was the anvil then? Where was that?
Both would have been there. You must have missed out somehow.
Oh, well.
They would have both been there.
I personally have never seen the anvil, but I did, like I said, I remember.
Yeah.
I've got PTSD from dragging that thing.
Yeah.
Bloody right. Okay, John. Right, I want to talk about. God, 'cause there's so much. Thing is, it's difficult to know what to talk about because there's so many different elements of your life.
Yeah.
With your career, with your history in the industry, the powerlifting, the bodybuilding, the strongman.
Yes.
The entrepreneur, the family man, this kind of figurehead of the industry, and it's difficult to know what to kind of. So let's talk about you, because you touched upon your businesses. You talked about the ice cream business.
Right. You
talked about the gyms and the health clubs, which is kind of you had for how many years did you have gyms for?
Well, my first gym I opened when I was 1966 would have been.
Yeah.
I ended with 4 gyms at the time, and then I moved back. Strangely enough, from the gyms, I moved back into the catering business. So I had a restaurant, a cafe in Newcastle, a fish and chip shop.
Hang on,
Yes.
Why didn't I know about the fish and chip shop?
Right. Strangely enough, well, exactly. Now, somehow I got fed up with the gyms.
Okay.
So I bought this fish and chip shop on the seafront in Cullercoats, Whitley Bay.
Whitley Bay.
Whitley
Oh,
Bay.
good money maker.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, I bet that was one of your best businesses, wasn't it?
It was. It was a very good money maker.
Yeah.
Ran that for about 10 years. Along with that, I had a cafe in Newcastle. I had another restaurant in Whitley Bay, and I had the seafront ice cream kiosks.
Did you?
Yeah, so I was running them all at the same time. Busy person.
Yeah. Nothing changes.
And I still found time to train.
Yeah.
I still carried on with my training.
So say you're running your businesses day to day.
Yeah.
When would you train? Would you go early in the morning or late at night or?
Probably at night.
What time?
7 o'clock.
Okay. So you still manage to?
Yeah. Still manage. Yeah.
Every day?
Just about. Yeah, every day. No.
I remember a time when you would do 2 or 3 when you were getting ready for a contest and you were doing deliveries for the supplement company I work for. For you. I remember sometimes you do a delivery and you just literally you'd have your Versace jumper on, and you do your watch, your Rolex, and you wouldn't even get in. You maybe just have normal trousers on, and then you go and do 20 minutes of biceps, and then move on and do the same again at another gym.
Exactly. I'd move around the gyms, do a workout in a gym. Just I'm there, so I may as well do a workout. Right. And I never I never changed into workout gear. I just trained with what I was wearing.
Yeah.
If it's street clothes, I'd be training in my street clothes. If it happens to be a tracksuit top and bottom, I'd be training in that.
In your designer gear?
Yeah, even that.
Yeah,
yes.
I've seen it. I've witnessed that with my own eyes, John.
That's right, yeah. I'd always just train on what I'm wearing.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know if that, it sounds odd, but that's how it was.
If we talk about odd things, I trained with you for about a year straight. Was it 2001, 2000? I've got 2001, 2002.
Right.
And then we trained together occasionally, and then I compete in 2004.
Yeah.
And I just remember the 2 things I noticed about you was you never drank water when we trained.
That's right.
And you never warmed up.
That's right, yes. Exactly.
To be honest, John, it frustrated me
that
you never warmed up. I used to say to you, John, you've got to warm up. You've got to warm up. And I remember you go to the pull-down stack and you just put the full stack on and just start repping away with it. Like 200-pound stack or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
I just never understood how that was even possible.
Do you know what? I suppose I got this from Arthur Jones. Said, don't bother warming up. Waste of time.
Really?
That's what one of Arthur Jones's teachers at the time, Nautilus. He says you don't need to warm up, just go straight into your set. Of course, if you want to warm up, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But just go straight into your set. And even now, I mean, I'll be 79 in a couple of months' time. And even now, I don't warm up.
You
I go to the
don't
gym.
warm up?
No, I just go in and do whatever's on the machine. I start training.
Because the thing is, I'm someone who had to warm up, and I remember sometimes you'd get to the gym, and I'd try and get there 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'd say, John, just hang on 5 minutes. Let me go and warm up because I can't train like that.
Right. Yeah. No, I've never worn straps. I've never worn knee bands. I've never worn arm bands, wrist strap, anything. Yeah. So
John,
no aids, no training aids.
Can I tell a funny story? It's a funny. I remember we were training together once, and I always fancied myself a bit strong on shoulders.
Yeah.
And I remember there were 48 kilo dumbbells there, and I remember I remember having to get two people to pass me the dumbbells. So one person passed me a dumbbell each.
Yeah.
I had my wrist straps on.
Yeah.
I had my belt on.
That's right. Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, right, okay, I'm gonna, the couple of lads in the gym were watching.
Yeah.
And I banged out, I think 10 reps with it.
Yeah.
And I said, John, do you want me to pass you one of the dumbbells? And he just laughed at me. He just laughed. You went, and then I remember you just swung them up and you doubled my reps.
Yeah.
And then you threw them down. You went, not bad for an old guy. I was like, and I just felt, totally put me in my place. That was great.
Yeah. But no, it's strange enough. I mean, when you mention it, I've never warmed up, and I've never worn wrist straps. I've never worn armbands. I've never worn knee bands. Never.
You never?
No,
I mean, even the powerlifting days?
No, never. Even in the powerlifting days. Powerlifting days, I would put a power belt on.
Yeah.
Around the waist. That's all. At times, that's all.
What was your favourite lift?
Oh, bench press. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
Why?
bench press.
Why?
Why? Because I was good at it.
Yeah. I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
God, I remember. I think another thing I learned from you was what true conditioning was about. I remember I was 6 weeks out for my first contest, and there was that old guy who used to come over, used to compete. What was his name? He's still doing the North Britain, to the mid 2000s. Really old guy. He used to do the over. He was like 60 something. What was the old guy who used to go over to the gym? What was his name? He did the North Britain like 2004, 2005. I think you'll remember him. It will come to you. It will come to you. And I remember, and he said, "Oh, here you're competing, Giles, looking really lean in the face." And he said, he had a look at me. He goes, "Oh my God!" I showed him my abs and everything, and he says, "Oh, you're shredded." And I laughed and I said, "Look, I know what shredded is. I train with John Citrone." And I said, I've got a lot more to come off yet. So I think because I got good condition in that contest. And I think partly it was because I knew I'd seen it day in, day out, what real conditioning was. I mean, I trained with you up to the day of a show, and I saw how lean and shredded you used to get,
Yeah.
So your conditioning was always kind of, especially, what would you say was your best ever physique you brought to the stage? Which contest and why?
Just the ones where I was in my mid-50s. That's the time. And I wish I had that kind of conditioning when I was in my mid-20s.
Did you need it then, though, in those days?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't seen then,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think when I won the Mr. Britain, because I'd lost quite a bit of weight for it, leanness came in then, at that time. And I suppose I was showing a muscular physique for that time then. Yeah. Because I was never a big physique by any means, yeah.
So how would you prep for a show, especially being a little bit older in your 50s and 60s? What was your diet like? What was your training? Did you do cardio?
Never done cardio. Never done a day's cardio. Couldn't be bothered with that. Just relied on diet, probably, just train the diet.
Yeah.
I would train twice a day. Yeah, short workouts, but twice a day. And I always said it's within the genes. I used to get muscular without the going to the. What I see, how people diet now is down to the extremes.
In what way? In what way?
Carrying the food around with them. You know, I'd never do that. I never did it. I never prepared my meals for the rest of the day and for the rest of the weekend.
Even when you were working, the thing is, I mean, how did you, with all these businesses, I mean, I was kind of around from 2000 to 2004, 2005. And like you were running a supplement business, health clubs, you're running all these different businesses and revenue streams and all these different things you had going. You're rushing around from the morning, the time you got up to when you went to bed, and you were managing to compete and turn up in absolutely incredible condition. How did you manage it with food then? I mean, how was that even possible?
I don't know. I think it's within the genes.
Not stress?
Whatever. I mean, I was never the most serious of dieters. And...
see, that sort of statement alone is going to blow people's minds because, you know, you were known as Mr. Conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you actually change your conditioning? Was it, say, okay, I'm going to get ready for a show. What would actually change for you?
Well, I'd just go to a high-protein diet and drop out the carbohydrates.
That's it?
Just the usual, what people do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when obviously working and you're obviously, you know, prepping and we're training together, I don't remember you ever eating that much. You just used to basically grab the shake and take proteins and...
I used to rely on that a lot.
Yeah.
Protein drinks. Rather than food.
With a body burn in.
Especially, especially when metrics came along. I think that's what changed. I went on mainly this meal replacement diet. So I used to rely on that, and it worked for me.
Okay.
It worked for me, cutting out food and just doing drinks.
Yeah.
So I think that was the main thing that changed.
So, I mean, you've competed for 50 years, so that's a lot of different eras, you know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and when was your last show, 2003, 2006?
2005.
2005. How old were you?
63.
Wow. What was the NABBY Universe?
It was the World Championships and the Universe.
Okay.
Same year,
So what would you say are the biggest significant changes in the approach to bodybuilding over those decades?
I'm not sure if there's much change. We were as fanatical in the 1960s as people are today. You know, that doesn't change. I mean, somebody obsessed with bodybuilding then was just the same as now. I mean, the superstars were superstars then.
Right.
Just the same. When Boyakos and the Arnolds and the, you know, the top physiques and the Dennis Tenerinos came over, they were superstars to us. Just the same as the superstars are today.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, the physiques change. But in your mind, they were still the super. I mean, Arnold to us was like a god in those days.
Okay.
When he got to his best, you know.
Yeah.
From the 1970s on, Arnold was a god.
Yeah.
Just the same. And he would be known to us as big. He was as big to us today then as the big guys of today are.
What, bodybuilders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, within the eras, there was, the perception of size doesn't change. It's just over the period it has. They've got so big now, and people's complaining that they're too big, but they're not. I mean, yes, they're not. I still like that kind of size, but the other guys were just as big then to us.
Do you know what I like hearing? Because sometimes you get people from different eras, and they're sometimes a little bit they're a bit down on the new guys. They're like, I don't like that. It's the art of bodybuilding's lost, the physique art, and you know. But you've always been like, nah, Ronnie Coleman looks good. I like Dorian's physique.
Right, yes,
you know, you've always been very for the new guys as well.
Yeah. I mean, when people like Rick Wayne walks in with the arms he had then, they were monsters to us. The way they are now.
Yeah.
They're still huge, you know, and yet they're small compared to today's stars. But to us then, they were just the same. Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this question, but who was the most I mean, it could be from any era at any time, so it's all relative. What was your most impressive person you ever saw in the flesh that made you go, oh my God?
Oh, Lever.
I knew you'd say that. Yeah.
Oh,
You've told me this story.
Oh, yeah, Lever. Yeah.
Why?
Not on stage, just off stage, in his clothes, and his short shirts, his short sleeve shirts and that. The way his forearms, the way his arms look, the way this V shape, the way he wore this tight belt around the midsection made his waist look even smaller than it was. He just looked like nothing on earth. No other person looked like that.
Do you ever train with him?
No. I was in with his company when he came to Universe. We went to Paris together in a group, with Oliver and us, and I was with Oliver himself. After he'd come off stage, and Oliver was talking to us, and he was saying to us, "I can't understand what made him better than me, Pearl. Because Pearl had won."
Phil Pearl.
And Oliver says, "I'm looking at him." He says, "I look at my back, and it's as big as his, bigger than his." He said, "I look at my arms, and they're bigger than his. Why did he beat me?" He was saying,
What do you think it was?
Oh, well, I think at the time, Pearl was just, he was just that much better, spectacular, more perfect, shall we say. Oliver was bigger. But Pearl was sort of more perfect as a physique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your sort of physique then? What was the sort of physique you emulated and looked up to?
All of them.
All of them?
Well, yeah, Rick Wayne. When I saw Rick Wayne, I went to pick up Rick Wayne at the at Newcastle Airport when he came to Newcastle in Newcastle, and he walked off. He walked through that foyer. When I went to pick him up, and I just stared at him. He had this white sort of short sleeve shirt on, and you just looked at him and goes, "Look at that." And that's the same when Casey Valletta came over. And I went to meet Casey Valletta.
Yeah.
Them arms, it was the arms that was spectacular to me. It was the arms.
Yeah.
And Casey Valletta in a shirt again. You just went, "Look at that." And Oliver was even more so. Oliver was the most impressive of all.
Really?
Yeah, aye. So.
Did you train with any of these guys? What was that like?
Within the company I did. I mean, I trained for a good while with, I forget names. Yeah.
You'll come to.
But, yeah. And lots of the guys, I mean, me and Kawak trained together for
Eduardo
quite a while.
Kawak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kawak he used to like training with me.
Why?
I think the weights we were using. Because Kawak was used heavy weights, and I used to as well.
Yeah.
And Kawak used to always, "You're the guy, you're always in condition." Where Kawak, when we used to train together, wasn't.
Yeah.
He was sort of, getting ready for show, but and of course, when I went to America, I trained with, forget names.
Arnold?
No, never trained with
Never trained with Arnold?
No, in his company, but we never trained together. I used to go down to London and see him in Wag's gym.
Wag Bennett?
Wag Bennett.
Yeah.
But we never actually trained together. So.
Who was your favourite to socialise with? Because you're quite an introverted person in some ways, but also you like being around people. You like being in company and parties and.
Yeah.
Who was your favourite to hang around with?
I think he was in Puppet with Arnold. He won the Universe from Kentucky. What's his name again?
Kentucky.
Yeah.
In Pumping Iron.
Yes.
Should be able to figure this out.
Yeah. He posed with Arnold together under the lights in Pumping Iron.
Not
blonde
Frank.
girl.
Not Frank.
Blonde girl. Blonde guy.
Not Mike Katz.
No.
No. Tinerino.
No.
No.
He came over when you go. We trained together for about 3 months in America, and he came over after that and won the Universe.
Yeah.
And then went to California.
Yeah.
But yeah, spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
We trained really well together, and of course Kawak we trained well together, and I mean even had some good workouts with.
You forgot the names. Okay, John. I did an interview once for a magazine, a European magazine, and I said right at the end of the interview in the magazine article, I said, John, do you have any regrets or anything you wish you'd done differently? And what you said completely blew my mind, because you said, yes, I wished I'd worked harder and achieved more.
Yes, I do.
Explain that, because that's hard to get my head around.
Right. Well, when I decided to from my fourth time in the universe, that's when Arnold won, and then he was going to come back the next year. I thought then, that's enough. So I decided not to bother competing. That's when I went just on the Strength Act.
Yeah.
But later, that's when I regret not carrying it on. I wish I'd gone over to the States with the other guys at the time.
Okay.
Although I was involved heavily in business at home.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really do it. But I wish I'd put more into it than I did. I felt as though I was putting more into business than training.
You don't have any regrets on that, though, do you?
No. Well, no, I don't have any regrets on it. Yeah, a great career. But I think I could have put more into it than I did.
In that time period when you were just focusing on business.
Yeah.
But the thing is, John, you weren't just a bodybuilder. You're a businessman. You're a very, very dedicated family man. You know, you've got, your family means a lot to you, and you're very, like you work with your brother, and your son works with you now, and it's like you're very. So it's like, do you still feel like you wished you'd gone and done more with the bodybuilding at that time?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I feel as though, I mean, I did very well, but I thought now, I think I could have done better. But anyway, that was it, because I was concentrating more on business.
Yeah.
As you say, I married when I was 21-year-old. I've married young.
Connie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Literally only was one of my first girlfriends. So I never really had many girlfriends in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and that's how it is.
Yeah. Okay, one thing I think you are known for is your quirkiness of your car interest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like...
Yes.
It's the first thing my dad ever says. He says, what cars has John got now?
All right, yeah.
And I think I remember at one point, I think when I was working with you, I think you had about 18 cars.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you had all different types of cars.
Yeah.
So where does the interest and the love and what draws you to that, John?
I don't know. I just keyed on cars. I just keyed on cars.
Yeah.
Sports cars. Yeah, mainly sports cars. Yeah, and I mean, it's I just like cars. That was it, right from the earliest days. I bought my first car when I was 16-year-old.
What was it?
Morris Minor.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
quickly upgraded.
That's right.
Yeah.
That didn't last long. And then my next car was, when I was 17-year-old, I'd inherited the business, and I had a new Zephyr convertible.
What's that?
A Ford Zephyr convertible, high-class car in those days.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm 17-year-old. And 18-year-old, I was driving around in a Jaguar XK150.
Wow, okay.
And by 19, I had an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just like cars. And
serious, Lauren, you've got no idea. I mean, and it's not just how many cars; it's how often you would change them.
Yes,
I'd see you literally turn up one car, and be like, "That'd be a favourite."
That's
a month later, you'd be like, "Oh, I've seen something else, and I got rid of it."
Yeah, hundreds of cars I've had.
Yeah,
well over 100, obviously. Yeah, but all at those times were high-class sports cars. Yeah.
Give me 3 all-time favourite cars, and I mean they could be not just like in terms of value, but there might be something, a sentimentality or a good memory attached to it. The 3 that instantly pop into your head.
Oh well, you'd have to talk the Lamborghini, the Ferrari.
Yeah, but which ones?
Right. Okay. My first Ferrari was the 246 Dino.
Okay.
Very expensive now. I mean, at the time, it was only about 2 or 3 years old when I bought it. They were about £6,000 then. Now you need 300,000 to buy that car.
Cool.
And my Lamborghini was the Diablo, and of course, I've had just all sorts. I mean, all sorts of, from Maseratis, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Astons, Ferraris.
Yeah.
The whole spectrum of cars.
I think my two favorite cars, my three favorite of your cars that I know.
Yeah.
I like the Cobra replica.
That's right. Yeah.
That's like you could hear that thing coming a mile off.
That's right. Yeah.
AC Cobra replica. That was incredible. Yeah. That's a car. If I saw, I would instantly associate with you.
Yeah.
I love the black Testarossa.
Yes. Exactly.
In fact, I'm going to tell a story. I remember one morning. It was Sunday morning. And I think we trained together, and then you said, "Right, I'm going to meet Carlo at the dealership. I think he's getting new plates put on his Modena 360."
Okay, right.
And I remember driving up on the A2, something one of the A roads,
right.
And you met him there, and we in the black Testarossa,
right. And
then you said, you met Carlo there, he got his new plates, and you said, "Giles, get in the Modena with Carlo."
Right.
And I remember, it's like I'd only just moved to Newcastle. I was 24 years old. And I remember because you got onto the A road, you looked at him, you were in the Testarossa, he was in the Modena, and you both just looked at each other, smiled. And I think you cooked this up. And I was obviously, because I was new then, you just floored it. And I mean, obviously you knew there was no speed cameras around because you certainly were going faster than 70. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, this is so cool. You know, that was such a, oh God, I'm hurting smiling so much. Yeah. It was such a, I just thought this is what this father and son does on a Sunday. They go racing in their Ferraris around Newcastle.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. And I'd never been in a car quite that powerful. You know, I remember because the petrol gauge in Carlo, you had to stop off because the petrol gauge as he was flooring it was literally you could see it physically going down. God, that's crazy. And also the other car, was that BMW Z3M?
That's right.
That was nice with the leather interior.
That's right.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, the BMW Z8, very important car.
Yes.
The Z8.
The electric one.
No, it's not electric.
Oh, not the white new one at BMW.
No. I bought a Z8 that was very, very rare at the time. BMW's most expensive car. And of course, I had one of them, sold it, and now those cars are £250,000 now to buy.
Wow.
You know,
What was that white one you had? It wasn't there's a Subaru Impreza and there's the other one, the white one. Because Kim said you've got to get a 4-door family car.
Oh, yes.
And you turned up with this.
The Evo. Evo. It's a brand new Evo.
And your son got in the car. First time he took him out, and he came out and he threw up.
Yeah. Yeah, Evo.
I remember Kim going crazy at you because you said, well, you said you wanted to get a 4-door family car.
That's right, yeah.
An Evo 6.
Yeah, Mitsubishi Evo 6. Yeah.
So that was John compromising.
That's right, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's like because obviously you kept buying 2-door sports cars, and obviously you got a family, and she's like, "No, you got to be sensible now, John." So you went out and bought an Evo.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. But the cars I have now, I've got a BMW i8.
That's nice.
I've
been in that.
Well,
Electric.
I've got the new one to that one now.
Okay.
That was a coupe. That I swapped over to the convertible.
Yeah.
So I've still got the convertible one. And then I recently bought a Cadillac.
Did you?
Just leave it with Villa in Marbella down there. It's an old 1998 Cadillac.
You told me when you bought it because you went to see it and you didn't know what condition it was in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you said you got a really good deal on it and you were happy,
Turned out good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So that's down there. And just today, strangely enough, today I happen to be here. I've just bought this Panther. I've just bought a Panther Calista, which arrives in the morning. That's going down to Spain. So
Okay.
I'm taking that down.
Okay.
It's a 38-year-old car.
Yeah. You like the classics?
Classic.
Yeah.
Rebuilt right up to modern day standards, like new.
Wow.
That's coming tomorrow.
Ever had a speeding ticket, John?
I've never had one for years.
Really?
The last one, no. I don't drive hard anymore now. Too old for that.
He's winking at me. He's actually winking at me. He's winking at me going...
Too old for that, yeah. I still like to own the cars. I still like cars.
And do you know what, John? I hope you don't mind me saying, but I feel safer in a car when you're doing 100 and
Yeah.
Then when I actually think you become a better driver the faster you go. Because I've been in a car. I remember we were in Italy and we were in a hire car and you were just doing 40 and you remember I think you just fell asleep or something. We'd been traveling for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I thought that would never have happened if we were doing 100 miles an hour in a Ferrari.
Aye.
Never would have happened.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. So because you're a very skilled driver.
Yeah. Was.
Okay. Yeah, what happened to that? You got a dune buggy as well. Remember when he bought that thing?
Yes.
To throw on the beach and.
Yeah, I had that one at Boulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, So the car era, I still like cars, but that's thing of the past.
So this is the old. This is the old. That's the one I've been in.
Oh yes, that's it. Yeah.
That's in Spain now.
So I've got no.
Oh, sorry, it was in Spain.
Yeah, no, yes, this country. I've got the new version of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Black McLaren. Yeah. So how is life for you now? I mean, you've still got the company, the supplement company running, successfully.
That's right. Yeah.
And your son Carlo runs it.
He runs it.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time now in Spain. I have a villa down in Marbella.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend a good time down there now.
Yeah.
Let Carlo run the business.
So how do you split your time between the UK and because you've got two places in Spain, don't you?
Yeah.
How do you split the time and how do you decide where you want to be and when?
Well, I don't just now. This last 2 years with the COVID, that's put the block on all that. But now we're getting back to normal again now.
Yeah.
So we'll be going off in the next 2 weeks now to Spain. I'll spend the rest of the summer down there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. I can spend time now whichever I want. Part in England, part in Spain.
What do you like to do with your spare time nowadays?
That's all I do. Nothing. Sit and watch. I'm a big television fan. Yeah. So I watch a lot of television.
Yeah.
And sit around and lie around in the sun when I can.
Lovely.
That's it.
Yeah.
I still go down to the gym each day.
Yeah.
Short workouts, but I'm still there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Train the same way. Heavy weights for me, which is lightweights by these standards now. But I'll still work as heavy as I can.
Yeah.
Still go to failure. And 20 to 30 minute workouts.
I remember seeing during the pandemic, and I think because everyone was on home lockdown, and you were doing it was a video of you doing curls with a chair.
All right, yeah.
Because you were obviously probably just a bit going crazy because you couldn't train. I was actually surprised you didn't have a home gym actually.
Yeah, I know. I used to, but no. I like to go down to the gym now. Yeah. Yeah. So.
And your son Carlo, you said he's 56 now.
Yes.
And I know he competed in the mid 80s.
Yes.
And then he became a poker player and a sort of entrepreneur and everything. And then last year on my Facebook feed on Kim's Facebook, I saw these pictures of him competing again and winning.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
He came back. He came back out of the business. I asked him. I says, "Listen, I'm getting too old now. Why don't you come back and run the business?" So I mean, he spent his life playing poker. He's a poker champion. That's how he earned his living as well.
Very successful one.
Yeah, very successful. So he thought about it and he made a decision. Yeah, okay, we'll give it a go. He's come back. He's taken over the business and it's going really well.
Good.
So I've got plenty of time off now. So I do nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I get what I need out of it. I get me living out of it still, and so it's going well.
And Carl, like I said,
and then he decided with coming back, I'd start training again.
Yeah. And so what age was he when he decided to start serious training again?
About 53.
So he's literally following in your footsteps, the timeline.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he doesn't miss workouts. He trains hard. He trains hard. He trains harder than I trained.
Does he?
Yeah. He put even more harder than I trained. I thought I trained hard.
Really?
But he trains even harder.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
So what was the reason though he came back? Was it just because he's been in the fitness industry and what was the spark?
The spark, I suppose, got a really regular, very nice girlfriend, and he's out. Casino every night. playing his cards.
Okay.
Probably decided that a more regular work would be better.
Yeah.
So he came back, was successful, married her, got married, bought a new house, and doing very well.
And then decided to start training hard and compete.
Yeah. So with the coming back, he started training hard.
Yeah.
Got the bug and really hard, and
that's amazing. Because I was surprised to see him because I did a tour with Phil Heath.
Yeah.
In 2019, and there was one in it was in Cumbria Cumbria, and he'd driven all the way to come with Brian Robinson to come to the seminar to see Phil Heath, and I was like, why is he here? I didn't think he was even interested in that kind of thing anymore.
He was.
And then I came over to see you in 2019, and we went out for food, and he said, and he was really talking passionately about Phil Heath and how impressed he was and how inspired, and
he was.
That's incredible.
So. Yeah,
that's incredible.
And now, well, as I say, he just trains so hard.
Yeah.
And,
so what's he doing next?
He's doing the Mr. Britain, the NABBA Britain.
NABBA Britain?
Yeah, and Marty's.
Okay, the IBFA.
BFA, sure.
Fantastic. Yeah. In fact, that was the night, that was the day, John. Look.
Oh, yes.
That was,
we got together,
2019, that was at Neil McVicker's gym.
Yes.
And we all trained, us three here trained chest together.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. Because Kamal, he was 2019 212 Olympia champion.
Yes.
He messaged me and he said, Giles, he says, you from up that way. He says, and he said, my sister's living up in Newcastle. He says, and I want to go and see her for a week, but I need a good gym to train at.
Yes.
So I said, well, get yourself to Neil McVicker's gym. I said, I'll ring Neil ahead.
Yes.
Make sure that, and then when I did that, I put the phone down and I thought, I wonder if John's in the UK. I wonder if he's Spain. So I messaged you.
That's right.
I said, John, I can't come up to Newcastle, train with Kamal, and not invite you to train with us. So we all had a great...
We had a good workout.
Yeah.
Really good, yeah.
That was great. Yeah. That was great. Yeah. So, that was that night. With Carla came out, and there's me trying to out-angle you, John.
Yeah.
Still got that top. It's full of the bits now. And what do I want to talk about next? Hang on. Oh, yes. Obviously, last year, 2021, we were in Alicante, myself and Lauren, doing the live stream. And I obviously knew that you might be in Spain.
Yes.
So I asked you, I said, John, I would love you. Would you come in and help me commentate the classic division?
All right. Yes.
And what was that like? What was that like seeing the physiques of today, up close at a modern show, a pro show, best of the best? What was that like?
Oh, terrific. People criticize the modern day physiques. And I'm not sure why. They're getting bigger, but that's volleyball. That's the name of the game. Why do people not want that and get bigger? That's what it's about. For me, it is. I know they're all saying now, it's got too big, it's got out of hand, and it's not nice anymore. I don't agree.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I like to see the size. I like to see them get bigger still.
So what, the reason I brought you in on the classic is because the classic is supposed to rewind bodybuilding 20, 30 years, whatever.
Yes.
More about aesthetics. You can only be so big at a certain height.
Yeah.
What was your take on the physiques that we saw that day? What was your overall opinion?
Well, the classics are still terrific physiques. Absolutely terrific. With any universe of the old days, every one of them would be a winner of the old days.
Yeah.
They're that good. Okay, the same because they don't want them that big, the classics. Well, fine. Whatever, there's that many classes now through it all. I think it's spoiling it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many classes, especially among the ladies. You just don't know where they're at on that one. Yeah.
Laura's feeling that one, yeah.
But, so bodybuilding's where it's at. I think it's great. Yeah.
Do you think it's progressed as a sport and the actual what's going on inside it?
I think it's going to end up in trouble because the mass audience is not quite behind it anymore. As they say, they're complaining that they're getting too big. Well, they're going to get bigger. So, and it's not going down too well with the public.
When would you say bodybuilding was at its absolute peak? And what was your in fact, and to expand on that, what was your personal favourite era of bodybuilding and why?
Possibly the Dorian days. Or,
90s.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly then. Yeah, probably.
Why?
But even so, I still like it today. I've got no problem with the these big guys now. Yeah, I think they're terrific. Yeah. So, but I'm a bodybuilder. Always have been, always will be. Yeah. So I like the sport.
Yeah.
And the bigger they get, the better for me.
What's your feelings on the whole pharmaceutical side of the industry? How do you think it's out of hand? Do you think it's just basically it is what it is, or what's your feeling?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a feeling on it. It's what it is. People are going to use whatever methods they can, whatever comes out that's new, or they'll never take it away. It's not going away. So that's that.
When did it really when did you hear it really kind of becoming a part of the industry? When did it really, because you won many titles natural, didn't you? Yeah. You were already like national, international champions as a natural.
Well, only in the very earliest days. I mean, I discovered Stromba tablets in 1966.
Wow, that early?
Yeah, that's it. That's when they start talking about it. The year I won the Best of Britain.
Yeah.
At the Universe contest then, the Americans were talking about these steroids.
Yeah.
That was being used now in America. And I got a hold of some then. So I started to use them then, 1966.
Did you feel instant benefit, or did you? Because you'd already built a very good base.
Right.
Like you think like Ronnie Coleman. I mean, these guys built good base physiques.
Yeah,
they were strong. They were genetically superior. They were impressive.
Well, without the steroids, you still have the same winners. They just wouldn't be quite as big.
Yeah.
You still have the same winner. They're the person with the genes. Steroids will only make them better.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a bad bodybuilder into a good bodybuilder without the genes. Yeah. So the same winners would be winning now if steroids never came in.
Do you think there's been any game changes in the industry that has really, can someone say one with not as good genetics could somehow pull ahead of someone that does have good genetics? Do you think there's anything that's ever actually any progressions in that side of things? No. Not at all.
No. Well, the people that say, the instructors that say, use my methods, and you're going to get whatever. If a person is training hard, that's all you can do. That's what you can do. Because some super physique is telling them to do, it's not going to make them any better.
Yeah.
You're capable of getting the way you're capable of getting if you're training hard enough.
Because I remember, I think we spoke about genetics once, and I remember you were talking about a friend of yours that had trained, and he would train the same way, he would eat the same way, and he never quite ever, he did all the things that you were doing as a bodybuilder, and he didn't come even close to what you achieved physically.
That's right.
You were just. But thing is though, I think what I'm picking up on, well, certainly with you, it's the mindset that you've always had to all areas of your life.
Yeah.
Your business, everything you've done is all or nothing.
Yeah.
You've gone full in. You've always had a mindset that, you do something properly or you don't do it at all.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, look, Dorian's training partners might train the same as Dorian, but it'll never be him.
Yeah.
They kind of get like him. It's in the genes. My training partners in the early days, I wondered why aren't they gaining like I am? Why aren't they doing 400-pound bench presses and 500-pound bench presses? Because they're not capable of.
Yeah.
Even though we're doing the same workouts, we're doing the same training, we're going for it, So my training partners won't keep up with me. Dorian's training partners won't keep up with him.
Yeah.
For instance.
Yeah, but they can still be influenced by the mindset that, say, you or a Dorian had. Like I said, that story about when that guy looked at me 6 weeks out and he says,
Yeah.
now if I hadn't have trained with you, maybe I hadn't been around you and I'd seen the way you trained and the way you approached everything and the way you got your conditioning, maybe I wouldn't have known that I still had a long way to go. You know, I remember you looking at me once and you were telling me I was fat and I was like, I had veins up my abs. You know, if you're still fat, Giles. You know, whereas to somebody else, they'd say, God, you're lean, you're ripped.
But you're still capable of getting as good as you could get, and you got great condition. You got terrific condition. You were capable of getting that condition. But going on and on now to become Mr. Olympia is another matter.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I knew my limits.
That's right.
I knew my limits.
You got there, and you got terrific. I was amazed when I saw the pictures of you.
Yeah,
amazed. Yeah,
because I stayed covered up.
I used to say, well, how has he got like that?
Because you.
I was known because I used to train with you.
Yeah.
And then I saw how you actually got after that. I thought, how has you got to that condition? Which was terrific. Yeah.
Because I remember you were in Malta, and I swear you booked the holiday because you didn't want to see me make a fool of myself. I know, that was what was driving me. I was like, I'm going to prove everyone wrong, you know. But because I remember one of the judges messaged you under the table when you were in Malta and said, he's won this. He looks bloody amazing. And you were like, and everyone was really, and I remember, I think you or Kim rang me after the judge and said, they're telling me you've won it and you look great. Because I stayed covered up, you know. But I was so, because thing is, I think I became a product of my environment. You know, like there was Jason who was competing successfully as a natural bodybuilder. You know, there was you, the legend. You know, and we were surrounded by all these good bodybuilders. And I just thought, if I do this, I can't make a fool of myself. I can't. I've got to do it properly or not at all. Otherwise, I'm just gonna embarrass John. I'm gonna embarrass the company. And it's not going to be good. So I felt like I had a lot riding on it, you know, in terms of reputation for all of us, you know. So thank you for that, John. So. Yeah, it just shows you a person can only get as good as he can get, but he can get that good. Yeah. It's not going to make him Mr. Olympia, but he can get that good. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Right, so look at these couple of these pictures before we finish off, and I just want you to, if there's anything you see you want to talk about, any pictures or anything you want to bring up, just say. Anything else you want to see with the dogs? Yeah. There you go, John.
Yeah.
So the dogs are actually in the next room with your lovely wife Kim.
Oh, we never go anywhere without the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem very happy, John. You seem very happy with your pets now, and you know, in your life and everything. It's great to see. Really, is great to see. You know,
I've been fortunate. I've been lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that car again. So obviously you're very, very family orientated, John.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that.
That's my grandchildren.
Yeah. Where's that? Is that the house?
Yes. That's our house, yes.
Okay, yeah. That's a new one. Because you swapped, didn't you? You swapped the houses.
Yeah, yes. Aye.
Yeah, you moved to another street because someone said they like your house.
Just round the corner, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Fatfield. Yeah. That's right, yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a cool picture. This is the one I posted and you reshared it.
All right.
Yeah, look.
Yes.
That's 2002, you and Kamal.
Yes.
And this is 2019.
Yes. Yeah.
17 years later. Are you surprised are you amazed what Kamal achieved? I mean, the guy's 50
really
now.
I really am. He's looking terrific.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed at what I am.
Because he was kind of done, wasn't he? Because they wouldn't give him his pro card. And then all of a sudden he came back at 2018. He won the Arnold Classic.
That's right.
Third at the Olympia. I mean, it's absolutely... Because he was around when you were competing in 2000, 2002.
Again, he's got better. He's 50. How old is he now?
I think he's 50 now.
Yeah, he's got better now. He's 50, yeah.
Do you think it's... Because, I mean, there's very few... Usually, like, bodybuilders, when they get to, like, 40, certainly in the pro ranks, or maybe 40, maybe mid-40s, they start to slide.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the polar opposite.
That's right. Yeah, he's the same. Kamal's the same. He's got better as he got to 50. Yeah.
How is that achievable though? How can you get better in your fit? Like your son's done it, Carlo.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but it's true. That's true.
So that's good. Yeah. Is that yours? That's not yours, is it?
No.
How much do you want for it?
$40. Yeah.
Lovely. You're in the hot tub, John.
Yeah.
Which where's that?
Yeah. That's my house in Spain.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big one with the big archways.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Have you got any pictures of that, or?
Well, there will be, yes.
Yeah, there will be on your Instagram. They are.
Yeah,
this is
one of them.
That's beautiful, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is this the one not far from Alicante?
Yeah. No, Marbella.
Oh, Marbella. That's Marbella.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Is that your living kitchen? Dining room.
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it? Yeah. And you've always been big into your fashion and your nice brands and your nice watches. And
yeah.
What watch have you got now, John?
Oh, that's a Jaguar, that one.
A Jaguar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a nice one or good one?
Yeah. Fair enough.
John doesn't wear cheap watches, guys.
No.
Do you remember do you remember when you got your Rolex taken off your arm in Milan?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Go on, John. Tell us a story. Come on, tell us. I know you don't want to relive it, but...
Well, yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, 2002, that is, was it? 2002 when that happened? The watch?
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just... hand my hand was on the door, convertible top, hands on there. All of a sudden, I just felt this heaving. Somebody had just grabbed the watch and ripped it off my hand.
Physically,
it just pulled straight off. I turned around, I ran after him and jumped on a motorbike and off. So I lost that one.
You didn't insure it though, did you?
No.
I don't think it was insured.
No.
No.
But the embarrassing part is here. Here's another one. I've never mentioned it. It happened again.
Oh no!
It's happened again. Recently.
Oh, you're kidding.
Just recently in Spain. I was sitting there. Girls approached us, asked us for directions. I had the Rolex watch on.
Yeah. Not again.
Yeah. She got a hold of my hands on my wrist and that. Suddenly, I didn't know what was going on. Suddenly, she ripped it off my wrist, ran away, a waiting car, jumped into the car and gone.
Oh, so when was this?
Just recently. This is why I've just bought this watch. This is just recently. I haven't mentioned it.
Oh, now everyone knows.
I didn't mention. I thought, not again. Yeah.
Thing is, though, how can you learn from it? Because if you're not going to not wear your watch out, you're not going to. You can't be a slave to it. You can't be afraid.
That's right.
Oh, wow, it's life, isn't it?
Again. I thought, oh God.
Oh well. Well, someone's happy.
Yeah. I'll buy myself a gas now, not a Rolex.
Yeah. Get a Casio.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tell us about this car, John.
Oh, little Lotus. Yeah, Lotus Super 7. Well,
Lotus?
Catering Super 7. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, nice one. Was about 20 years old. Had no miles on the clock. Somebody had put a cover over it for 20 years. I found it, bought it, and just run it there in Spain.
How do you find your cars, though? Where'd you get them from?
Just through the press, through advertising.
That's a lovely picture of you and Kim.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been together with Kim for now?
30 years.
30 years?
Yeah, it'll be 30.
92?
Yeah, well before that. Be 90 or 91.
31 years.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You both seem very happy and content with life. Because you've had a lot. Thing is, I mean, people don't really, anyone who's self-employed or whatever realizes that a business is stressful.
Yeah.
And it can create, especially when everyone's involved in the business, there can be a lot going on, and there's a lot to deal with every day that can really put, and it can either bring you closer together or you can drive you apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kim's my third wife. Mm-hmm. As I say, I mean, I married very young when I was 21, and I've just throughout, I've never been on my own at any time through that, from first wife, second wife, and third wife.
No gaps.
So,
yeah. In fact, the old, a bit of a tangent here, but the house I used to live in, the house with the swimming pool, I remember driving past it a few years because I thought, I know obviously another way, so I was driving up to Newcastle for a weekend, and I drove, and there was, they were doing some sort of, what's it called? Not yoga, some water aerobic thing. Yeah. Someone was teaching lessons in the swimming pool, and I was just, so... God, I love that house. I wish I bought it, John. What you sold it for was
at the time.
Because I remember somebody bought it and then did it up a little bit and put $100,000 on and sold it straight away. Oh, I love that house.
Yeah.
Love that house. But it was a doctor's surgery originally,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was. Doctor surgery, yeah.
And then the garden, he says, no, we're getting rid of the garden. We're going to put a pool, an indoor pool with diving boards.
Right. Yeah. Aye.
Yeah. Because you used to have all your, on the outside of the gym, you used to have all your gym equipment.
Yes, gym equipment around. Yeah, I know.
Do a workout, go for a swim.
Yeah. Aye. Yeah, all days.
Kim told me you used to have amazing parties in that house.
Aye, we did. Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
God. Wow. What a career, John. What a life.
Aye.
I mean, there's so much we haven't even touched on. I mean, like the whole sort of the Panatta,
Yes.
becoming the UK distributor, and that was massively successful.
Yeah,
That's what a lot of people might know you for.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much. I mean, there's just so much we could touch on, but this has been. I think we've covered a few subjects though today, haven't we?
Yeah,
a few subjects, but so when you going back, you said you're going back to Spain very soon.
Yeah, probably in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we'll spend the rest of the summer there.
Top your tan up.
Top your tan up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we go, anyone who's watching, because it might be a bodybuilding audience, it might be a non-bodybuilding audience. You've got a lot of life experience. What would you? I'm trying to think. What would be some of the life lessons you've learned that you maybe would pass on to a younger John Citrone if he was in front of you right now? What would you tell him?
Just be, what do you say? Just be realistic. I mean, be realistic with your gains or what you're trying to achieve.
What about in life, though? What about in life? Because you're someone that's really not been afraid to take big, but you're an entrepreneur. You take big steps. You're like, in 97 when you started at Peak Body, it was like, you could have...
Yes.
You were like, I'm going to start from scratch with this business.
Yes,
you've done Metrex and then the Labrada stuff, and then you decided to start a business from scratch and build that.
The Panatta, yeah. I mean, the whole spectrum. I mean, we built a business out. We had about 16 gyms at one time.
Yeah.
Within the and it's just been business all the way through life for me. I've never worked for anybody. It's always been right since the time I was left school. So it's just been a business career, and so it's worked.
It certainly has, John. It certainly has.
Yeah.
Wow, we could just talk all day just purely about the bodybuilding, but like I said, there's so many different elements to you, John, and there's so much you've achieved, and there's also I think it's important to know how much you've given to the industry as well.
Yeah.
You've given a lot to the industry. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I know about shows and where you've supported shows and you've not...
You used to sponsor quite a lot of shows.
Yeah, a lot of events that kind of, would have really needed that,
That's right. Aye.
We
sponsored all of the IFBB shows, NABA shows, WABA shows. Been sponsored with them all. Yeah.
In fact, I showed you that picture in my office. I saw it on here, so I'm going to finish with this, John, and you're going to take me through this because this was. We gotta go and look at this. All the cars. I like your hat, John. I like that. That's He's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Do you remember Earl Maduro? Maduro, the Masters guy.
The what?
El Maduro, the guy you competed against.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him in Romania.
All right.
I saw Romania. Yeah, he's coaching now. So, I remember. Because I said I used to compete against John Citrone. He's like, yeah. Where is it? It's right down the bottom. Hang on. There you are. Look, it's a bit of a dodgy shot of a...
Yes.
But this is the photo I took in 1997 at the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And look, you've got somebody else trying to take your Rolex as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah.
So you nearly had it, next 3 times?
That's right.
Yeah, so you're trying to give him his medal, and he's more interested in the watch.
The watch, yeah. So I'll take that, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yes, obviously you're a big supporter of that show. Would have been Panatta at the time, was it? Or?
Yes.
Or Metrex? Panatta?
Panatta.
Right, okay.
No, Metrex in this one.
Okay.
But it was me that was doing the sponsorship. Not Metrex.
You privately?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I put it in a bunch.
Okay.
It was me, yeah.
Look at the thickness of your back there, John.
Yeah.
Look at the thickness. Crazy.
And the one, the Dorian one on that, I was a sponsor.
Yeah.
The Dorian won it.
Okay. Was it 96?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right then, John. Well, This has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's great to catch up. And thank you so much for being the very first guest on the RiZe, a show I've been wanting to get going for a while.
Right.
And you were the first person I reached out to. Okay. So thank you so much. And it's incredible hearing and really, because there's stories you said today that I've never heard.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so I always learn something new about you every time, you know.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about the ice cream business and all these other elements. I didn't realize you had a fish and chip shop and all that. And it's like I said, there's you should write your book. When you're at Marbella, you should start or get someone to write your book. So it'd be certainly interesting. Maybe make a film of your life.
Yeah.
It'd be good. Yep. Cool. John Citrone, thank you so much for coming on The RiZe, and I look forward to getting you on again very soon.
Okay. Thank you, Giles. Been a pleasure.